Lamborghini. 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 All right, guys, all right. I think you get the hint. And what up, world? Welcome back to the episode, yes, of Skinny's World. Lamborghini is not the only supercar we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about a plethora of supercars. So there are a lot of new cars that have dropped, released, and that has sparked a lot of discussion about supercars. Like, really, what is a supercar? And some of these manufacturers trying to make their own version of a supercar. So I got my boy Mo here because he loves a brand, Porsche, that has a lot of cars that perform just as good as supercars, but technically aren't classified as what? As supercars, sports car, right? So yes, you have the CGT, you have the 918 that obviously are considered supercars or hypercars in their own right, depending on the discussion. So I want to have another talk and bring in somebody else in discussion about what cars are supercars, because there is a specific car that's out now and one that is coming out. There's a lot of controversy around, is this car a supercar? Because it has more horsepower, more torque, it has the curves, the body lines, and it has the hype that a supercar technically would have. So we're gonna have that discussion today. It might be controversial for some of you guys. Actually, it will be controversial for all of us because I get this question all the time, Skinny. What makes a car considered a supercar? Because like a lot of people said the R8, when I had it, wasn't a supercar. Yes, it was a supercar. We will discuss why it was, why the Lamborghini is, why McLaren, Ferrari, and then these other cars aren't. So let's head up, meet up with someone very special that will have a great conversation with, and has a car that has always been compared to being a supercar. And Mo, you used to have a version of this car.
Yep,
actually.
A newer version.
You did have a version of that car, yeah. So you might not be able to guess what it is. I don't think I ever filmed that car with you way back in the day, so you don't know what it is. But let's head up, about 45-minute drive for us. And man, special guest and also a mystery, controversial car and brand, man. Let's get it. We're here. Dang. That's how you know we're serious business right here, guys. All right, you guys. We are here. Before we show our special guest and the car we're looking at, we're gonna get straight to it. We're gonna get the cold start. Wonder if you can guess what car it is by the cold start. I'm very curious. So here we go. It's about to start up right now. Controversial right here. Bro!
That sounds good.
Yo! It's not an Aventador, but it sounded like an Aventador, didn't it? Didn't that sound like an Aventador?
Did. I was like, damn.
Holy crap, this is gonna get really controversial. Wow, because that cold start sounded literally like, that sounded like a Lamborghini. Wow. Without further ado, man, you guys ready for this? Here is the car that's gonna be controversial. You guys are gonna be like, really, Skinny, really? Yes. Bam, yep, and we're gonna talk about C8 Corvette, specifically the Z06, and we're gonna talk about the new ZR1. Wow, this thing looks freaking sick. Holy smoky joes. Yo, look at the presence on this thing, look at this. Come on, you guys, we're gonna talk about all this stuff. We're gonna talk about the body lines, performance, what this car encompasses, and you guys already heard that cold start. It sounds. Wow. Dude, it sounds like a freaking Lamborghini, dude.
That's crazy.
Holy crap. Look at it. Look at the presence it has. Yo. Dude, just guys, look at it right now. Look at it compared to the Lamborghini. I'm not gonna lie. This is why, to me, this is a controversial conversation. Look at this. Look at its presence. Wow. That was the controversy when this car came out, was it was mid-engine car, just like Lamborghini, some Ferraris, right? Performance-wise, the horsepower is actually more than my car. The torque is actually more than my car. Then you talk about the body lines, all this thing encompasses, like, oh, he even put the Lambo doors on here. Oh my gosh. That's controversial in itself. Without further ado, guys, my special guest is my boy Jesse. You guys seen him in one of my old videos like way back in the day. But if you're not familiar with him, like, you must be living under a rock. From the one he's most known for is NASCAR driver. Guy's actually a professional NASCAR driver. So bam, Jess, welcome back, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome back from Japan. We were talking off camera. This guy's been to Japan. You said 7 times,
Yeah, 7 times
this year?
Yeah, 7 times.
Holy
Well,
crap.
7 times in the last year and 9 months or so.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's my dream destination. I'm gonna go. So before we get to this beast, let's look at his other baby he has. Wow, this
Yeah.
is everybody's like dream. What the heck
dirty right now, but-
what do we have? Everyone
Yeah.
already knows, but you tell them anyway.
Yeah, no, so this is a 1999 Nissan R34 GTR. I've had this car since 2022, got it in August of
Wow.
2022. It's been a super fun car. I had a lot of cool experiences in Japan with this thing. I went there 7 times between August 2022 and March 2024.
7 times.
Yeah, and experienced the car out there. Not only went to a bunch of cool car meets out there, underground meets, the whole Tokyo experience,
Wow.
but also tracked the car a whole bunch out there. So spent a lot of time at Fuji Speedway, Suzuka Circuit,
That's
Scuba
crazy.
Circuit, and ended up getting some records out there too as well for kind of a stock version of these cars, because a lot of these nowadays are highly modified. You know, they got stroker motors, blah blah blah. I wanted to keep this thing
Wow.
stock and be like, okay, let me take a stock car. You know, obviously, I threw some decent tires on there,
Yeah.
Yokohamas or whatever. Threw some tires on there, upgraded the coilovers, and then threw exhaust, and that's it. No tune, no
Really?
extra power, no extra different turbos, nothing. Stock motor, all
Wow.
that stuff. Went to the tracks and broke all the records that were at least on record that I've seen.
That's
right.
crazy.
So if you go to fastestlaps.com and you go
Yeah.
to Scuba Circuit, Fuji Speedway, and Suzuka Circuit, you'll see my name for all the records.
That's
for this car.
crazy, dude. That's nuts. You did.
My
You say you
final
did
trip.
four track.
Three
Or
track
3
days.
track
So
days. And how many days?
in 3 days.
And guys, he drove. So it's like he flew in, got his car, drove 2 hours to one track, tracked it, then drove a couple hours from the track,
like six
tracked it.
hours to the next. To
Oh,
go from
shoot.
Suzuka to Scuba was probably a good 6 hours or so.
6 hours, and then tracked it again.
Tracked it again,
And then
then
drove
went to Fuji Speedway, which was another 2.5 hours.
and tracked it again.
And tracked it again.
Wow! Give this man some props. That is crazy. And you said you have the same tires on there now.
Yes, thing is, I after that flew back here. 2 months later, the car shipped here to the U.S. Once it landed here in the U.S., I went and picked it up in L.A. at the warehouse. Picked it up, trailered it all the way to Laguna Seca. Literally didn't drive it here yet, just trailered it straight
And then
from
drove out Laguna Seca.
and then drove it Laguna Seca. So basically, 4
Wow.
straight track days on this
That's
car
sick.
on the same tire
Before it actually hit the streets.
before it actually hit the streets here.
Man, it's so clean.
6-speed manual, so no auto, no DCT, anything like that. Still shipping, and you're using your left hand to shift on it, right? So first, second, third, fourth, fifth,
Do you
sixth.
ever get used to that?
Yeah, it's fine. For whatever reason,
Like thinking about it right now, I'm like, my mind's confused even thinking about it right now. Your heart's going because you want to get back in the GTR game.
My dream
I'm trying to get
car
this guy into his first supercar, man.
Oh, okay.
The 570 is calling his name.
Right?
Yeah.
He's sick. Are you gonna do any mods or you want to keep it completely stock?
Honestly, keeping it. So I got a few little minor things just to
Yeah.
kind of like upgrade. Like so, I got an oil cooler right there because the oil
Okay.
cooler just needs to be upgraded. I have JRZ suspension that's actually going to go on it. So right now it's
Nice.
HKS Hypermax coilovers, but the JRZ is actually active suspension. So
Oh,
that's gonna
wow.
Be going on. This is the first time anyone's heard that, by the way.
Nice. Heck yeah, yes. There we
That's
go.
gonna be going on this car, and then just a little other little minor things, like nothing
Yeah.
major. I'm not no bigger turbos, no single turbo. I'm not doing anything with
Gotcha.
the motor. The goal is to keep it like basically similar to stock power.
Okay.
And then just running it on track and just whooping things that people don't. Because a lot
That's
of people
sick.
call this car overrated, right? Because of the price. These things
Yeah.
cost a lot of money, 150, 200 grand. Some of these cars cost $1 million.
Yeah.
And I want to show people that it's not overrated, right? Like maybe driving on the street, yeah, it's obviously not going to be as fast as your Huracan or my C8Z.
Yeah.
But you get on track, these things actually can hold their own. I've been on track with the Nismo R35 GTR, and it couldn't beat me. Now, obviously, that was
Really?
a driver thing. I
I say, man, you are a NASCAR driver. I'm just saying, man. I'm
just
just saying, there are some skills.
But I just wanted to show people that, hey,
Yeah.
like even if this car is only 300-ish horsepower, whatever, and I'm going against a Nismo R35,
Yeah.
like just because your car makes all that power and has all this technology, like if you don't understand how to drive it, then how is this overrated, right? Like if this is
That's true.
I'm beating you with half the horsepower, like how's this overrated?
Man, if you're watching this when he beat you on the track, man, I'm sorry. He said half the horsepower. Damn.
Literally.
Step your game up. Does it have exhaust on it? No.
So it has Mine's exhaust on it.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So it has Mine's titanium exhaust, which that was another cool experience. So
Nice.
when I first learned about the R34 GTR, it was through the Gran Turismo game, right?
Okay.
That's what the first racing game I think I ever had.
Yeah.
And I played Gran Turismo 2, and I found the GTRs on there. I'm like, oh, these are really cool. And then I got the Mine's R34 GTR on the game, and I just fell in love with that car. So when I got this car and went to Japan, I wanted to put exhaust on it. I'm like, I want to put Mine's exhaust on it.
Heck
and then
yeah.
the dealership, Akunobu there was like, hey, we can actually go to Mine's and do it. I'm like, wait,
No
what?
way.
I can take my car
That's sick.
to Mine's in Japan and so we went there, and like to have my car sitting in Mine's, have it lifted up and have them install Mine's exhaust on my car for a car that I first fell in love with the Mine's art, like a dream come true.
See, that's what it's about. That's why that's why I love car culture, man. That's what it's about. Something you see when you're a kid, and then bam, reality happens, and it just blows your mind. That's sick. Well, let's do it. Can you start it up? I want to hear that thing.
Let me grab a key.
I want to hear that thing, man. Let's go. I like the rumble. That's a proper rumble. That takes me back. Yeah, that's a proper rumble right there. Listen to that thing. Yeah. That's sick. I can only imagine down on the track, dude. Oh my gosh. Guys, before we get off the Skyline, look how clean. This car is extremely clean. Like,
dirty right now.
there was not one bump, not one scratch, not one nick. Like, it is like off the showroom floor. Wow, look how this is so clean. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Look at that. It looks like a brand new car.
Exactly.
Dude, that's crazy.
Holy
crap.
Yes. So that is from Kaichi Tsuchiya. So Kaichi Tsuchiya is DK. So the actual Drift King, like that's him. So if you watch Tokyo Drift, and you remember the fishermen who were sitting there while he was learning how to drift, and they're looking at him and like, so that one guy is actually the Drift King.
Him.
That's actually him. That's my signature right there. He drove it at Fuji Speedway and drifted it all around Fuji Speedway. He drove this car, and while I was sitting in the passenger seat, it was a dream come true. And then that's the CEO of Mines right there.
CEO of what?
Mines. So
Really?
the owner who founded Mines, that's his signature right there. So after Kaichi drove the car, then both of them signed it right there at Fuji Speedway, which was incredible.
Real drift. That's sick.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, let's get into the controversial topic here. This is great. I'm loving this. Okay, so I Googled some specs on your car.
Yeah. Well, okay.
And of course, I pulled up mine. And I want to do this for you guys, just so you know I'm not making crap up. But like, why is it a supercar? We'll kind of get into that later. But like, let's first talk about performance. Some people say like a supercar is because of the performance, right?
It's more than that.
It is more than that. But some people will say like that's why is what the car brings. So your car. Wow, I'm kind of scared to even bring this up here. It's going to be pretty nuts.
I can tell you what you want.
670 horsepower,
Yep.
right?
Correct.
It goes 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds.
Absolutely correct.
And it also has, I didn't get the pounds of torque on here. How many pounds of torque do you know top of your head?
I've actually never memorized, but it's somewhere around, I think it's like 400, it's like 400 something.
Okay, still more than mine.
Yeah.
And MSRP, I know there's markups on this, was around 110,000, but we all know went way for more than that. Probably 30 over sticker, I'll say now, somewhere in there.
Base was
base.
Yeah, base was like 110-ish or so.
Yeah.
But like you can't. I honestly don't know a single person in the world who ever got that price. Even if you got MSRP with just any minor little things, this thing starts going up. So this actually ended up being 137 for this spec right here, and this was
Crazy.
MSRP price. Not a single dollar over MSRP.
Crazy.
MSRP. I actually have the thing somewhere in the trunk here. Like we
Crazy.
can look at.
Crazy. All right, now my car. This is great. This is great. This is no tune, guys. No tune on both cars. This is just stock. My car has 572 horsepower, so it has 100 more than mine. 398 foot-pounds of torque, so about 50 more than mine, we'll say roughly. And 0 to 60, it just says under 3 seconds, so it's probably like 2.8. So you're still 0.2 faster than my car. So technically on paper, this car it's faster than mine. It's faster than mine. Now I don't know the weight. I didn't Google the weight of the cars. I know weight also takes into fact of how fast it goes.
3,700 pounds. 3,700. It's like 3,750 or so for the curb weight on this
See, I
car.
don't even know mine. See, I gotta Google that again. But nonetheless, guys, it obviously has more horsepower. Now, when they came out with the C8 mid-engine, which blew everyone's minds. I remember when that car came out first. everyone's freaking the hell out. Like
yeah.
mid-engine, the interior was plush, like the body lines and the styling, like you get like a Ferrari-esque look on the front, like you really do. Like this car from the side and the front, if you didn't know what it was, you'd think it was like a Ferrari, literally.
So honestly, when you look at this car, what I see is when you're walking up to it, I see a few things. I see McLaren, I see Ferrari, and I see not Huracan. I see
Aventador?
No, what's the one before the Huracan?
Gallardo.
Literally, Gallardo, McLaren, Ferrari. That's what I see with this car.
Damn. I can't say I don't disagree with you. I can't say that. Gosh, man, that's where the conversation comes into is this. I know people won't want to give it the credit it gets. I mean, it gets the credit, but won't get the credit being it'll still be a sports car, and not a supercar. That's the question everybody wants to ask. So before we get into early years, but the new one coming out, the ZR1,
yep,
V8, right?
So
twin
it's
turbo,
still similar flat plane crank V8, so 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8 with upgraded internals and things like that. So it's a little bit stronger. It's twin turbo. It's supposed to be making 1,064 horsepower.
That's what I got. That's what I got from good old Google too.
Yeah, and these cars, because they're mid-engine, because it's a transaxle and all that stuff, you don't lose a lot of power to the wheels. So back in the day, the Corvettes, when they said they make 650 horsepower, well, it lost a lot of power going to the back. So it went from 650 to like, by the time it got to the wheels, it was only making like 550 or whatever.
Yeah.
With these cars, even though it says they make 670, well, when I put it on the dyno, I made 616, so I didn't lose that much power. So with the ZR1, if you kind of do the same math, with that 1,064 horsepower, that car to the wheels is probably gonna be a 900 wheel horsepower car.
That's crazy. And with the new Lamborghini, the Temerario, that's comparison. Literally, like you compare this to this, and now you compare that one, the ZR1, to the new Lamborghini coming out.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy when you think about it. Like they're making, if you want to call it a sports car, like it's comparable to a supercar.
But there's something else coming out after the ZR1 though.
Is there really?
Yes.
I didn't hear that.
The Zora.
What's that?
The Zora is a ZR1 with the E-Ray electric motors up front.
Oh my God.
So at a minimum, it's gonna be 1,224 horsepower at a bare minimum.
When is that coming out?
That's most likely gonna. So the ZR1 is a 2025 model. The Zora is most likely gonna be a year or two after that. I'm probably thinking a year, so probably 2026 or so.
So that's on.
They're testing it right now at the Nürburgring. Car driver.
That's like a Roverto type. So now they're going after. They went after. You can say I'll say Lamborghini with this one, with the Huracan with this one. The ZR1 they went after the new Temerario, and the Zara. You said Zora is going after the Roverto. If you think about it.
No, it's going past the Revolto.
Going past the Revolto.
Dude, it's going after. It's going. I'm thinking it's going after Bugatti.
Oh my God!
Like honestly, that's what I think.
Or
at least close to it. Maybe it's not going to top that. It's probably not going to top that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely getting up there because, like I said, at a minimum 1,224 horsepower. But that's only if they just straight up put the E-Ray motors, electric motors, and then keep the same normal twin turbo setup.
Yeah.
But technology is going to continue to advance, and they're also going to put all their freaking bags in there. So what's going to happen is, I believe they're going to up the power of that twin turbo motor. So that 1,064 that you're hearing, that's probably going to up to somewhere over 1,100 horsepower, and then the E-Ray motors that they're putting up front, they're probably going to just change out a few things and make those more powerful because it's electric, right? So just give it more, whatever it is. I forget what they give it.
Crazy times.
It's probably going to be 1,350 to 1,500 horsepower.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm thinking.
And I know you're right, because I'm not going to say. I know this guy gets inside information. As you guys see his shirt, the man in race isn't sponsored by the company, so like he gets info. So he says, "I'm sure it's going to do that." It's probably going to do that.
I didn't get that info from anyone. I'm just doing the math from what I know now. Because originally, when the ZR1 was coming out, it was supposed to be 850 horsepower. The reason why they made it at 1,064 horsepower. Now, once again, no one from GM told me this. But like I'm just doing the math and just thinking through it. They probably made it 1,064 because at that time, the 850. This was like 2 years ago when the Revolto and the what's the Temerario, whatever. All that wasn't out yet, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't have anything to compete with. So 850 was going to be plenty.
Gotcha.
When these cars started being announced, and like every car is now going to be 1,000 horsepower, they couldn't come out with an 850 horsepower car anymore. So then they were like, hey, we're just going to turn it up, 1,064 horsepower, boom. So that's why with the Zora coming out, 1,200 is not going to be enough for what they're going after, right? What's the point of buying a car that's only making 150 more and paying all this more money? Dude, just make it 1,400 wheel horsepower or whatever. Let's just send it.
Wow. So what's the MSRP on the ZR1? Do you know what it roughly could be around?
They haven't announced it yet, but my guess would be starting is probably going to be around 160 grand or so. That's my guess.
So that other one will probably be in the twos.
The Zora will probably start off, I would say the Zora, to just knowing how GM is, because they always want to make it something attainable. I would think the Zora probably start off in the 190s. That's my thought.
I'm not gonna lie. If it's 190, I might get one.
You know,
I'm
that's
serious
starting,
with that.
though, you know, you'll probably end up paying in the 220, 230, 240 range, honestly.
And I know you're right. We don't know what the technology is going to be like in the future, but like,
Yeah.
say everything is where it's at now with other manufacturers, and they do that with that car, like, dude, for that price range to get that type of power out of it, holy smokes, that's wild. And that's why I want to have this conversation because, like, man, it's a sticky surface because, like, the performance, you know what I mean? So I know there's other factors. So I'll pull out my phone, Google. I did find 4 really good examples of what is considered a supercar. I think you have to put them all 4 together for it to make sense. And so I will share that with you guys. But before we do that, let's talk about the outside, like the body line stuff that make this car so freaking unique and so different. Because, God, it's a sexy freaking car. It's curvy. I know you guys have seen freaking C8s, but like you see them in person, it actually, when you look at them, it kind of blows your mind with what they've created, man. It's pretty insane. Like I was a big fan of a C6. Was like, for me, was the one that you see going on the street as a kid. Yeah, open your garage. Let's show him. He's got one in there. This is the drift car, though. Here we go. You guys have seen this. I think it was in black last time. There we go. Here's his drift car. Just freaking disrespectful. I love it. Look at. Oh my God. Oh, you fired this up. Let's go. You know his neighbors are car people. He's firing this thing up. Let's go. Yo! That's crazy. Well, I gotta let the jitters calm down a little bit. My heart's going. That was. Yo.
That's crazy.
Out of control.
I don't know why I wasn't expecting that.
Holy crap. To me, this car was a big staple when they came out with the C6. Like, this body style, like, to me, forever is a stamp for Corvettes.
To this day, honestly, I tell people the C6 Z06, the C6 base model is still a great car, but the C6 Z06 to me is the best pound for pound, dollar for dollar sports car ever made.
Yes,
for the
100%.
price, like everything. I mean, this thing, you know, 505 horsepower from the factory, LS7 with 7 liters of motor, great handling. This thing can drift, it can drag race, it can you can go road course racing with it. I've done everything with this thing. I've literally taken this on every style track you can ever think of, and this thing handles it. And guess what? This is still the same original stock bottom end. I've never touched the bottom end, never refreshed the bottom end, only the heads. Change the heads every 100,000 miles. The car is sitting at 223,000 miles now.
Holy
and I still drift it. It still rips. And you saw how I fired up and how it sounded. It's still healthy.
Dude, that's wild. From this body style to that, like I mean, it's way different, obviously, but I don't think that'll ever be as nostalgic as this body style.
This is every time I see these things, they're still top notch. What they did with like just the wide body kind of fenders and stuff was just like perfect for this car.
100%.
And it rips.
Oh, it does rip. But so going from that to these body lines, I'm saying when this car came out, blew everyone's minds. Like, to your point, all those cars, are in this car. Look how defined all these body lines are, all the way to the top, the back engine bay. The glass comes off if you want. Golly, it's just so freaking aggressive. Then you added this. Wait, that come with that splitter on the ZR?
It didn't, but the front splitter for this car just doesn't have this.
Okay.
And maybe
that's what I thought.
Ends right here. You know, so this one is just more aggressive. It's just a longer version with the fin right there to pour extra down.
Dude, look at that thing. Oh my gosh. And then let's look at the interior real quick before we really get into the meat and potatoes. And you open it down here.
Yep.
Like a supercar.
Yep. And that stops right here for mine.
Like a supercar. Oh yeah. Then you gotta lift it. Everyone's gonna love and hate this. You guys are so mad in the comments. I know you are. But then the interior though, like, dude, they killed it with this freaking interior. Carbon all over the seat. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
And honestly, I didn't spec this out crazy. I kept it actually very, very simple. There's other people who like have Alcantara everywhere. I didn't do any of that. I didn't want to spend all that extra money.
That's just crazy though. So like everything you would want in getting a supercar, like you got in this car. Holy smoky joes. You guys comment below before I put this in here what you guys think makes a car a supercar. What do you think, Mo? Give me two or three things that you think. Top of your head.
For me,
put you on the spot.
I'd say like speed, and then the amount of production, I guess.
Amount of production?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Jeff? Like just
All
two
right.
quick ones.
Oh man, I actually have a
Okay.
whole spiel.
All right.
Can I-
Actually, give me your spiel. That's cool.
Yeah,
I
I
want
have a whole
it.
spiel on this. All right, so supercars, right? So you have different kinds of cars, right? You have
Yeah.
sports cars, you have supercars, you have exotic cars, and then you have hypercars, right?
Okay.
Sports cars are just cars that are sporty, right? They have sporty features to them. They have sporty performance. That's a
Yeah.
sports car, right? A supercar now is something that is a super sports car, right? It has super sports ability to it, so it's faster, it's a whole lot quicker. These things go 0 to 60 and depending on your era, right? But right now in this era, to be truly a supercar, you probably need to be under 3 seconds in your zero, or under 3.2 seconds in your 0 to 60. When you get to the exotic car, that's where people get it, because people think exotic car, supercar, same thing, right? So then that's why they don't call it a supercar, because they're confusing it with exotic. Exotic car is a supercar that is ultra rare and has exotic, it's basically an exoticness about it, right? It's exotic features to the car where you literally see it nowhere else. That's it. It's only for this car. It's rare. You hardly see them at all. Very, very exotic type car.
Yeah.
A hypercar is when you take an exotic car, which is a supercar that is exotic, and then you take the performance to the whole next level. So that's what a hypercar is. So this is why I believe this is a supercar. It's not an exotic car and it's not a hypercar, but it is a supercar because the performance is super. It's a super performance car. That's what makes it a supercar.
Okay.
That's
Some good points. Some good points. I like that. All right. So good old Google. So it actually has some good points and I like them all. So one says a basic street legal sports car with a racetrack like power, speed, and handling, plus certain subjective things linked to the pedigree that are exclusive or both. Okay. It says most supercars offer somewhat between 500 and 900 horsepower, reach top speeds of 200 plus miles per hour, and hit 60 miles per hour roughly between 0 and 3 seconds. Dang. That's exactly what he said. Let's see. The definition of a supercar describes an expensive car that's flashy, fast, luxurious, and prestigious. And then the other one I liked was it's the performance, design, price, and exclusivity, like what you said. So I think it's all those entwined in one, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I really do. And then I also think too, like from a manufacturer's standpoint, like go say Audi with the R8. A lot of people were like, "Oh, that's not a supercar," but when Audi came out, they're stamped as we're bringing out our first supercar, right?
It's a supercar.
It is, and it's saying it was their first exotic car. To your point, there are differences, right? But Audi coined that because one, the design, they made it very different than any other car that's out there. Power-wise, at that back in the day, it was still under 3 seconds, but 3 seconds or 2.9 was like a thing.
Yeah.
And the first gen R8 was, I think it was what, 2.9 seconds, something like that. And then to your point, they didn't make a crap ton of them. Like they weren't just mass produced. Yeah, there was a lot out there, but they're not mass produced. Like what's like the BMW down there, or the Silverado. Like they're not gonna keep making it.
It's not 40,000, 50,000.
Exactly. And then I think one thing that we don't think about, that manufacturers do think about, maybe we do think about it, is like the wow factor too. Like when people hear like Lamborghini, you're like, oh my God, I wish I could have one of those one day. And then like you hear about like the C6, like, man, I would love to get one of those. But they'll get it, it's obtainable, right? But everyone hears the word Lamborghini, Ferrari, sometimes even Porsche, they're like, I don't know if I would afford one of those. So it's like that, I want to reach it, can I actually get it one day? I don't think I can, then doubt may kick in. And certain cars like this, or like a BMW, or even like certain style of Porsches, they know they can get it, it's just a matter of when. So I think it's all of those things in one which makes a car a supercar or like an exotic car. And don't even get to the hypercar, that's a whole other ball game. But I think you have to put all that stuff together to make it a supercar. Now, back to the C8, I honestly would agree with you that I do think this is a supercar. I think there is a difference between a supercar and an exotic car. I do. I think exotic car, like you said, is both. It's a supercar, but then something exotic about the styling, the look, the design, the thought process that went into it too from the manufacturer. And to your point, performance-wise, like how is this a sports car? Unless you're elevating all the sports cars, like you're elevating, I don't know what you want to call another sports car, another BMW or M4. There you go.
All that stuff.
Which they are elevating their performance,
Those
right?
are sports cars.
Yeah.
There's nothing supercar
But
about
until
them.
they get to like this type of performance and like the intention behind it, the design of the engine, not even the outside, but the engine, then you have to consider this a supercar. I feel like. I know you guys might want to kill me in the comments, and I never want to admit it, but you kind of have to when it comes to performance, because this car out the box, yes, this is a 2017. What year is this one?
This is 2023.
So we have some difference in years in it, but still it outperforms my car. And even if you look at a Technica, actually let me look that up. We know how much a Technica horsepower is.
Here's the thing that helps too, right here. And I got to do my research to make sure it's fully correct, but I just kind of thought about it right now, which somewhat makes sense. Supercars, typically their motor isn't used in more than like maybe 2 cars max. Sports cars, their motors can be used in a lot more cars. For example, I would say the C7s, C6s, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like those are more sports cars. Those aren't supercars. They have supercar performance, but they're not technically supercars, right?
Gotcha.
But those motors, those 6.2s, you know, all that stuff, they get used in a lot of different vehicles. The 7.0 that was in this got used in this. I'm forgetting, Z28 or whatever, all that stuff. For this motor is only used in this. There's nothing else. Even the ZR1, it is still 5.5 liter, but it's different internals. It's twin turbo. That's a completely different motor.
That is another really good point that I thought about but didn't think about in this conversation. That's true. If you use them in multiple other vehicles, that's 100% true. That's why a Porsche, honestly, they don't consider that a supercar.
Yeah,
they don't.
true.
Even a GT3 RS, which is, I drove and it's crazy and handles better than any car I've driven.
Give that one the exception, though. I will give that one.
But they do, though. They say it's not. Even Porsche won't say it's a supercar.
Somebody else made an argument too, and it makes sense, but I can't fully. You know, they also say supercars don't have a base model version. You know, so like for example, the base model of this would be the C8 Stingray, right? But once again, 2 different platforms. Like I can't even call it truly the base of this because it's not. The chassis is not even the same. Like for example, Z06s and I believe starting with the C6s, like the C6 base model is a steel frame, and this is an aluminum frame. 2 different chassis. It's not even the same. It's not like they just took a car, changed up the body a little bit, threw a different motor. No, like it's complete from ground up. It's a complete different car. So this car is a one-off, right? So it has to be one-off. Motor, all that stuff has to be one-off. I think that's what helps make it a supercar too as well.
Performance for you guys, good old Google, the Technica 5.2 V10, 640 horsepower. So still, this car, naturally aspirated, 8 cylinders, still has more horsepower than the Technica. Crazy, man. I'm saying it's a crazy conversation that man, I don't know. I still go back and forth with it. Like I'll say it's a supercar now, then tomorrow I'll say it's not. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, because you have an exotic, like you almost don't want to give it the credit it deserves.
That's the thing. That's an exotic.
Yeah,
they're not the same.
True.
Supercar and exotic aren't the same. So I will never call this an exotic car. This is not an exotic car at all. This is a supercar, but not an exotic car. It's not a hypercar. Nothing. So there is to that.
Dude, it makes your head just shake thinking about it, doesn't it? That's crazy. Hey, you're right. There is a difference, though. Yeah. You're right. So sports cars, supercar, exotic. The GTR no, don't even give it to him. Don't do it, Jesse.
The GTR.
Don't do it, Jesse. It is not a supercar. You're not getting that one.
The GTR.
Look at his face.
35.
Do not give it to him.
It's a high-end sports car for sure, but man, I'm having trouble not saying that the R35 isn't a supercar.
Hell no. Heck no.
It's got the 060. It's got the engine, you know.
No way.
060 was in the mid 3s, I think, wasn't it? No. Yeah, it's not in the 2. Or is it in the 2s?
Yes.
Maybe
no, bro.
2.8.
Okay, yeah,
you don't get it. You don't get
it's all-wheel drive, that's why.
You don't get that one. You don't get it.
How many did they produce, though? They produced a lot of them. But that's because they went for, like, what, 17, 18 years or whatever.
Man, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No, you don't get it. No. Dude, damn, that car's beat up right there. What's up, man? Yeah, man, he's been through some things in that car, boy. Oh, my gosh, man. He's done some robberies and all types of stuff. Like, there's bullet holes inside that car. Did you see that? There's bullet holes inside that car. Oh, really? Oh, I'm not even playing. He been some bang in that thing. Dude, I lost my train of thought on that one. That was random.
That was very random.
Hey,
I've never seen that car.
He snuck in the gates.
Yeah, he definitely.
I know you guys are probably triggered by these Lamborghini doors here. Let's put them up just for reference again. Let's get them up. There we go. You did something interesting right now off camera.
Yep.
So I know if I put those on my car, you guys would. I'm not doing it, so relax. Just relax. But you guys would lose your crap about putting doors that go up on a non-Aventador. But you said something interesting. People get triggered. They shouldn't.
Yeah, they get triggered, right? So people, they see it on it, they're like, oh, you know, it's trying to be a Lamborghini or whatever. But what people don't realize is Lamborghini did not invent the vertical door, right? Alfa Romeo.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yep. Alfa Romeo invented the vertical door. I believe I forget what car it was exactly. You can go on Google and just type it in. And it's Alfa Romeo something from like the 50s or the 60s or whatever.
50s.
That's the first car that they put those on, right? And then from there, other people had the gull wings, other scissors. I mean, McLaren has these doors. And nobody says McLaren's trying to be like a Lamborghini. You know, nobody goes to any of these other supercar, exotic car manufacturers and say, oh, you're trying to be like.
Yeah.
A vertical door is just a type of door. There's multiple ways.
Yeah.
You have your normal a normal I don't know, horizontal door, whatever you want to call it. Then you have scissors, you have gull wing, you have vertical, like all this stuff. Like they're just different styles of opening. It's not a Lamborghini.
So you're saying technically it's Lamborghini copied Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, now we're gonna go for a rip in this car and just see what it's working with, man. I'm super excited. Wait a minute. You have a key start? You started? I can't hear you. Yeah, right? You have a key start?
Yeah, I've got the key start.
Oh my God.
With the Iron Man.
Oh my God. Dude, see? I need that.
Can your exotic do that? I don't know.
Oh my God. Guys, it sounds so good. And I know you guys probably want to kill me. It sounds like a freaking Aventador. I'm sorry, it does. Oh my gosh. Wow. You gotta be kidding me. I gotta get a proper flyby. Wow, even the downshift. Yo. Oh my gosh. That's an amazing car. I can't wait to see what the ZR1 is like. That car is crazy. All right. Inside the cabin here. Yeah, that's way faster than my car. Oh my gosh, man. That wasn't full throttle?
No, that was like maybe 60-70%.
You guys, you have to feel with this car. Wow. Yeah, because the regular base C8 when it first came out was nothing like this. Look at this. Look at this. The camera, the microphone's catching this. Dude, that is amazing. This is unreal. Wow.
I love the engine braking sound on this car, and like the tone is just
that's crazy. I just can't believe you get the and TC's on?
Yeah, it's still on.
Woo! I love how it gives you a little swiggle still.
Yeah, just
I like that.
Just a little bit. You always gotta be ready for it. A Corvette's still a Corvette, right?
Yeah,
so you always gotta be ready for what's coming next. But like that's what I love about this car is it doesn't take away all that fun and excitingness. It doesn't take away the part that almost wants to kill you. It does not take that away. Like this car is the first one that actually can hook and grip. So what we're just a few little small pulls we just did right there.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like when I had my C7 Z06, even stock, you couldn't do that. Like we would have been like roasting them sideways, whatever. Like this, you can actually do that. Gives you a little bit of like, okay, hey, we're still a Corvette, you know, but then it just hooks and grips, books, and then just gives you the sauce, and then like
gives you the sauce. Yes, I love it.
This is probably one of the most favorite things for me, like for this car, as far as the sound is. This is the first Corvette you have that you can drive at. Let's say I'm gonna be 30 miles per hour, where you can drive at this low speed and still have this amazing sound. Like
it sounds really
normal street driving.
Dude, it sounds amazing. Like from the outside, I hope the audio picked it up and I was following you. Dude, it sounds insane. Wow. Oh, yeah. It pushes you back in your seat. Woo! Oh my God. Oh yeah. They're good. Dude, this car is, I keep saying how amazing it is. It's really, wow, man.
Straight acceleration.
It, like, you feel it planting when you give it, and it's weird. It feels like you feel it gripping the road and just pushing it. I understand the hype of this car now. I'm serious, like, I didn't get it. I really didn't get it until now because, like I said, I was in the first gen C8. You know, it's still a Corvette to me, right? Just a Corvette. But now riding in this, like, I get all the hype and why everybody was so excited about this car to come out. Holy crap. Amazing vehicle. This car is freaking amazing. This, I am like, all right, this conversation is a good one. And wow, I'm glad we had it. Holy smokes. Wow.
What do you think, Supercar?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I want to say no so bad, but you can't. It pushes you. It's like a heavy push. Yeah. This car's a lot lighter feeling.
It's the torque that this thing has and its ability to kind of provide that power throughout the power band. Like this thing, for whatever reason, it's not the torquiest Corvette ever, right? The C7 Z06 had more, but this, just the way it's able to provide that power throughout the power band, it's just like better than any other Corvette we've ever had. And it just grips.
It's really blowing my mind right now. It's crazy. Like, I want to so bad, guys, say nope, not even close. But it feels like a freaking V12 Lamborghini. What's that?
It's like a jet.
It is. Like, let's dude. I don't know. I don't know, man. Chevy, you got my mind all jacked up here because I'm like, I still don't. I guess I don't have a real answer for myself. Do I still consider this a supercar or not? It's hard to say it's not. Like, I want to say it isn't. I don't know if I'm being a hater and saying it's not. Maybe it's the hater in me wanting to say it's not. But I can't say that it isn't.
It feels like one. It sounds like one.
I know, dude. Like,
looks like one.
So conclusion is, what do you say? You say it is?
I think it is.
And Jesse obviously says it is. Honestly, guys, I can't give an answer because the hater in me wants to say no. Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's pop that thing up before we get out of here and get out on this video. Like, let's
boom, pop the hood.
Yeah.
See all that?
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh. What? Yeah. Once again. What?
The actual C8 Z06 GT3R whatever race car that they're using like right now in Fuji Speedway, they're actually racing, the WEC series is racing. The motor for those cars, the race car, is basically retains 95% of the parts that this motor retains. So this motor is the one racing in the race cars. Minus, I think the only thing they change is, I believe, the intake manifold, and then and there might have been a couple of little things, maybe some stuff in the heads or whatever. Just
90%.
But yeah, at least 90-ish, 95% of this motor is actually being raced.
I don't know, guys. Damn. I want to say the supercar, but the hater me wants to say no. Hey, it's hard to argue, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for all the discussions and the drive, and I am freaking blown away at the performance on this car, like hands down. One pulls up next to me at a stoplight in the freeway, I will let him go.
Don't race it.
I am not racing.
Or the E-Ray.
Or the E-Ray. I'm just gonna, you know what? Corvettes in general, any C8s, y'all got it. Y'all got it. All right. What'd you say?
I said your car.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You too. Okay, guys, I'm gonna explain what that's about when we stop and get gas. You have to watch Jesse's YouTube video. It is hilarious what we're doing right now.
I was like a cheat code, bro. You were like that.
Up, down, left, right, select, start. All right, Starbucks, a little bit of McDonald's, gas station. Let me set this down and explain what's going on here. Oh, that last clip was really random, so you guys gotta check out Jesse's video. So we're doing a similar but different video. Takes on the Huracan and the C8, and really we're trying to understand and get people's opinion from an outside car perspective. Do they think, what car is a supercar? Both cars, one car, none of them? Well, that last clip you guys just saw was at McDonald's at our second stop. Right now we're at a third stop at a Chevron, and we're gonna go check out how someone's give us opinion. But at that McDonald's was hilarious. Like, there was 3 employees in there, and 2 said mine, 1 said his, but like their reactions were freaking priceless and hilarious. So I give you just a small little smudge of it. So check out Jesse's video, and you're gonna get like the full video and full reaction. Starbucks was really funny. You have to see the McDonald's ones after that, man. So please hit that link in the description. Check out Jesse's video. Support him and his channel, and man, it's pretty hilarious. But before we end, man, what do you guys think? Once again, like Huracan platform, you guys already know Lamborghini, love it, exotic, crazy. But man, did Chevy do it, man? Did they actually make their first supercar? Is the Z06 actually a supercar? Do you consider a supercar and exotic car the same thing, or are they separate like Jesse had explained in the video? Way back and forth. I think I probably need to sleep on it and think about it some more, but right now I'm still gonna say, like, look, man, I love the Corvette. Platform's crazy. The flat crank, like, it sounds insane. Like, I'm telling you, it sounds like an adventure. You have to hear it for yourself. It feels like it, but still, all in all, man, it's not a supercar. Chevy doesn't even call this a supercar. I know they're competing with that platform as far as horsepower and torque, but they're not even calling that car a supercar. So if they're not doing it, then I can't say it's a supercar. I don't know. Comment below, let me know. What are your thoughts, man? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed doing it, man. It was a lot of fun. And hang on to the next one. Like I said, we have more stuff coming for Slimermobile. We got some pretty big projects and pretty big announcements. I don't want to spill the beans, but just subscribe. You don't want to miss it. It's Skinny's Real, baby. Skinny's World!